Now again, don't rely on what you see here, because your camera drivers may look totally different through their installation interface. This is for the Logitech C160. That's the one that we usually offer on our website, but again, they change periodically. Every few months or so they'll discontinue the C160, they'll start a new model with a new software package and so on and so forth. So always make sure you know what model camera you have. Look at the box or look on the camera, see if it's located. Logitech has a pretty intuitive option on their website to auto detect your camera if it is a Logitech. Okay, now that we have our scanner and our camera drivers installed, we're going to test the scanner. We're not going to go over how to test the webcam because, again, every driver and every software and every manufacturer is different. But if you have the STX, then the majority of you are probably going to have a newer model that's going to already be configured and are in native USB mode. Now to test the scanner, we're going to click on our Windows Start menu, go to All Programs. We're going to look for MagTech in the list. We're going to expand the MagTech. Then you're going to see under the Excella, you're going to find Demo Program. Now it's going to look just like this if you installed the scanner drivers the way that we've shown you in this tutorial. However, if you've got the drivers from somewhere else, then this hierarchy might be a little bit different. But it should always be under MagTech, and you should find a demo program in there. If you don't, then you may want to either contact MagTech or contact the company that sold you the scanner, or just try reinstalling the drivers. So we're going to run the demo program. That's going to bring us up a very basic screen here. Then we're going to select our device from here. Now, again, if it is in the native USB mode, you're going to see this option, stx.stx001. If you see that option, that means your scanner is already configured in native USB mode. That will always be the scanner you want to select, if it's there. Because if your scanner is not in native USB mode, this won't even be an option. It won't even show up in this list. That's true in TeraCash as well. It will not even be there. So, right now our scanner obviously is in native USB mode because we have this particular option. So we're going to select it and we're going to click on Connect. Now if the Connect button turns green, our scanner is properly connected, properly installed, and properly configured. So we're ready to go. Now I'll show you at the end of the video how you can set up your scanner if it's not in native USB mode, because that requires a couple extra steps. But I'm not going to show you that just yet because the majority of you are probably going to have the STX in native USB mode. So we can go ahead and close this. And now we're ready to configure TeraCash to begin using our new devices. Now since this is the first time we're starting TeraCash, if you're using user access control, which is again only available in Windows Vista and Windows 7, and you probably are if you just got it from the store and nobody's actually went in and manually turned it off, we're going to want to start TeraCash in administrative mode. So right click on it, again with the right mouse button, and run as administrator. Again, you may be prompted with allowing the program to continue. Just click on that so it starts. Now the very first time TeraCash runs, it's going to show you that it's verifying the database. And that's fine. Let it do that. If your window shows a not responding or something like that, it's okay. It's just going through the database and it's nothing to worry about. Just let it finish doing what it's doing. Then that box will disappear and you'll be prompted with this. That this is a demo version, Let you try it for 14 days. You can just click on OK to this. Alright, so we're going to put in our company information, our location information. So we're just going to start. You can fill out as much or as little as you want. The only things that are required is the items here listed in red. So we're going to put in our company name. And we're going to put in our city, state, and zip. And our phone number. And we're going to put our owner's name. And we're going to put our email address. Again, you can fill out the rest of it if you've got that information handy with you. All this information is optional, but it helps when printing certain reports such as MSB registration report, SAR, or a CTR report. So we're just going to OK to this. It's going to restart. We're going to restart TeraCash because we're adding our location. And then we're presented with our screen for the first time. Now you'll see you got the little did you know bar here. That'll give you tips every time you start TeraCash of how to use TeraCash, things like that. If you don't wish to show that on startup anymore, you can always untick that box and then click the X. And now we're going to go ahead and tell TeraCash what hardware devices we want to use, the ones we just installed. So we're going to go up here to Tools, and then we can click on Setup. Now if UAC is enabled, again user access control, and you're not running in administrative mode, then there's going to be several of these options that you're not going to be able to choose. And down here in this blank area, you're going to see in big capital letters, you're running in user mode, not administrator mode, so you're not going to be able to access everything you need to. If that happens, then you can go ahead and cancel out of here, close TeraCash, and then restart TeraCash again by right-clicking on the icon and run as administrator. That will give you the full access to all of this. Again, and then once TeraCash is up, go back to Tools and then Setup to bring up this screen again. Alright, so now we know we have a check scanner. So I have a check scanner. We're going to put a tick in that box. We're going to drop down our options. And again, this option here, STX001, will only be there if your scanner is running in native USB mode. So ours is. We've already tested that in the demo, so we're going to choose it. If you're not using an STX, then you're going to need to choose whatever COM port that your scanner is assigned to. That's again beyond the extent of this particular tutorial. If you've got like a Micker image or a mini Micker or a Micker Plus, that runs through a COM serial interface. So you're going to likely have something else down here like COM5 or COM4 or COM6, something along those lines after you've installed those drivers for that. In our case, we've got the STX and it's in native mode, so we're going to select that one and we're going to test the scanner. Okay, our scanner test succeeded. Would you like to use this scanner now? We're going to say yes to that. Okay, it's going to tell us that we're now configured to use that scanner. Now, if you have a fingerprint reader and you've got the one that we provided for you, or if you've got one on your own that's compatible with our software, then you're going to want to drop this down to use biometrics provider, and the one we provide is the digital persona. So you'll want to switch to that one. Now you've got two options how we want to use this scanner: verification or identification. Now quickly I'll explain what verification mode means. Is the customer will walk in, you will scan their check, you will select the customer from the list, and then it will ask them to put their finger on the reader so you can verify their identity. What identification mode does is when the customer walks in, before they do anything else, they will put their finger on the reader to identify themselves. then you will scan their check. So a lot of our customers tend to prefer identification mode, so we're going to go ahead and select that one for now. Now the rest of our devices we're going to find under our device tab. So up here at the top, devices, we have a list of available devices to use with TeraCash. First is our receipt printer. If you have a 3.5-inch receipt printer, or if you just want to use your regular LaserJet or DeskJet printer, you could select that from the list. Same with a deposit slip printer. We have the option for a deposit slip on 8.5 by 11 or a deposit slip on a 3.5-inch if you have a 3.5-inch thermal printer, impact printer, or something along those lines. So we can select that. In our case, we're just going to use the regular LaserJet on 8.5 by 11. And then the report printer for all your other reports. That's not a receipt, not a deposit slip. So we're going to select our printer for that. Now we've got our picture camera, which is the webcam that we just installed. So we're going to drop that down the list. And we've got the Logitech webcam C160, which we installed. And then if you want to make sure yours is working correctly, you can just click on the test. Now if you notice, the check image scanner, ID scanner, and MSR scanner is all the STX001. It automatically chooses them for you because that STX is an all-in-one unit, or a 4-in-1 unit rather. So it'll scan the image of the check, which is the check image scanner. It'll scan the ID card, and it'll scan the magnetic stripe on an ID card. So if you've got the STX, you don't need any of these additional scanners. The STX will do them all. Now, if you have some other scanner and you don't have the STX, then you will have to select these individually. You'll have to select from the list which scanner you have, what Twain compliant scanner you have, such as maybe you've got a PlusTech OptiCard, or maybe you've got a flatbed scanner or something like that. You would select that from the list as what you want to scan the actual image of the check. Now if you've got some sort of outside, something other than the STX, then it's only going to let you scan one side of the image. So just whatever one you've got, you just scan the face of the check. Same with the ID card. If you've got a separate scanner, then you would just drop this down from the list and choose your Twain compliant scanner for scanning the ID card. The MSR reader is a little bit different. Some people have like a keyboard wedge or something like that, so where it sits on the keyboard, or maybe it's even part of the keyboard that they scan it with. Again, if you have the STX, it's already built into the unit. If you have a different one, you would have to select it from the list. If you have a keyboard wedge, for example, something that plugs into the keyboard via PS2 or USB or something like that and acts like a keyboard, then you would select the keyboard wedge. If you've got a barcode reader that's capable of scanning PDF type barcodes on the back of the IDs, then you would select your barcode reader. Now the barcode readers typically come with drivers, so you might even see something else in this list here, like another COM port, for example, that's got your barcode. Now that's outside of the scope of this tutorial of how to install your barcode scanner. We've used the Honeywell 3100